Hi, we're here with AlphaStruxure CEO Juan Macias and Schneider Electric North America CEO Annette Clayton. They recently just launched a company with Carlyle Group to focus on smart infrastructure and building out Internet of Things, analytics, and all those sort of things, and new development projects. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, Larry.
Hi, Larry. How are you?
Good. So walk me through the deal with Carlyle and why this JV made sense.
Yeah, so maybe let me kick it off and then turn it over to Juan. So maybe know a little bit about Schneider. Look, we're focused on energy being decarbonized, decentralized, and digitized. And this joint venture with Carlyle allows us to really bring all of those things to life in a very meaningful way with respect to infrastructure. And one of the things we know is that there'll be over $1 trillion spent in infrastructure, in the U.S. over the next decade. So we think we have to go at this maybe a little differently than we have in the past. So we see this joint venture, AlphaStruxure, as an innovative way to work on infrastructure projects that are focused on outcomes. And those outcomes are around energy efficiency, sustainability, renewables, and we'll be using words like microgrid, and obviously it is where the Internet of Things and IT and OT come together. And so this is a joint venture that allows Carlyle to bring the infrastructure spend dollars and us to bring the technology. So Juan is the CEO, and he's been working on some of our exciting projects already.
So Juan, walk me through what a microgrid is and how that works. I mean, I boned up on it a little bit with the JFK project, but just how important are microgrids to these new development projects?
Look, Larry. So a microgrid, and one of the capabilities that with this new joint venture with the Carlyle Global Infrastructure Fund, we will be bringing to our customers is the capability to deliver energy as a service solutions, right? So these solutions allow us to bring a microgrid wrapped in an overall investment vehicle that customers can use to build infrastructure at their facilities, whatever that might be, to bring renewable energy resources, decentralized renewable energy resources, storage, and to be able to achieve their clean energy goals, their reliability goals, predictable cost of energy goals, and to bring that without having the upfront capital outlays, and to have an energy as service solution. So this is one of the capabilities that we will be bringing with this joint venture with the Carlyle Infrastructure Fund.
The JFK is a lot more.
And it has some microgrids in it. However, maybe I'll take a step back and tell you a little bit about the joint venture in total, right? Because microgrids is one piece of it. So
yeah, give us the overview.
Yeah. So look, the Global Infrastructure Fund at Carlyle looks to bring solutions for the development of infrastructure in the U.S., whether it be airports, wastewater facilities, ports, and this joint venture that we have with them is about engaging with them very early from the beginning of the concept process through the design process, construction and operation of these variety of infrastructure projects that the Carlyle Group is undertaking. So the idea here really, Larry, is about designing and building infrastructure for the 21st century. And really, that's what really the name AlphaStruxure is all about, right? Generation Alpha. So this is about building world-class infrastructure for the grandchildren and the grandchildren of our grandchildren. So we're very excited about the opportunity that we have to bring all the technologies that we have around energy management and automation, and bringing those to these projects right from the concept stage through the whole life cycle of these infrastructure.
So if this works out, will every building and infrastructure thing eventually be smart?
Yeah, look, that's the objective here, right? These projects that the Carlyle Group undertakes and that we undertake together, yes, all the way from whether it's the building automation to the automation of the power system to the automation and analytics that we have around how we operate these different pieces of assets. Yes, absolutely.
Smart and more electrified,
Yeah.
as we understand the electrification of literally everything electrified, everything producing data. In JFK, the way to move planes, the way to move people, more and more electrification. So it makes it an even larger challenge when you want to be renewable, sustainable, and JFK is very much focused on the outcomes of the new terminal.
So walk me through this energy as a service model. What's in it for the customer? What's in it for the joint venture? Or how's it work, basically?
On the customer, right? In different jurisdictions, customers have a variety of needs around their energy, right? Whether it's improving the resiliency of the power system that they have, and reliability, whether it's achieving specific clean energy, renewable objectives and commitments that they have. So we have the technologies that enable that to happen, right, through a microgrid. And then we have the investment vehicle to be able to build that infrastructure and to then provide a customer a predictable cost of energy, attractive cost of energy to bring that to life.
And this joint venture was partially created because the funding of infrastructure projects is a little lumpy, to say the least. So I guess walk me through that. Like, what will the joint venture address in terms of funding smart buildings and development?
Look, the Carlyle Infrastructure Fund is the company that develops and funds these various infrastructure projects, right? The joint venture is a technology partner through Schneider Electric into those projects, right? So that's the Carlyle Group Infrastructure Fund is the one who leads and develops these infrastructure projects.
Okay, and the goal is to get the technology side, the IoT, the analytics, in that front end of the project, basically.
What we think and feel very, very strongly together as a team with Carlyle is that we can bring innovation to bear on these projects to improve the outcomes that we have, to improve the performance of these assets, and from a Carlyle perspective, to make sure that they deliver on their commitments to their stakeholders.
Okay. As far as the public sector, I mean, infrastructure across the U.S. needs to be upgraded pretty much across the board. How does this public-private partnership play out in terms of technology?
I think one thing we realize is that there's not going to be one solution to the infrastructure challenge inside the United States. I mean, we talked about $1 trillion. We think this is an innovative solution to that, but not the only one. And there are some things that have really helped. Some of the deregulation policy has helped things like this really work. And what we realize is that a lot of the U.S.'s infrastructure is really held and owned locally. And so working with communities, working with with the local environment is really probably a big key to driving these infrastructure programs.
And on the technology front, so you have a development or a development project, I guess, and the technology, the infrastructure gets built in ahead, early in the concept. How do you future-proof it for down the line? I mean, because some of these projects take nearly a decade in a lot of cases.
Yeah. Look, I think that comes from the platforms that we're developing, the overall approach that we have in Schneider Electric to develop whether it's hardware, software systems, and as we build and design those, we're developing for the overall life cycle of these systems. So we are developing all these platforms from a future-proofing perspective so that they can be upgraded and evolved over their life cycle. And I think what we look to do and achieve in this particular joint venture and this approach is to have a very well architected solutions that are fit for purpose from concept through the whole execution. And I think that will allow us to have very good paths of upgradability and maintenance of the solution.
It's really, really well aligned with our EcoStruxure offer, which is a technology stack of connected devices, producing data, software, apps, analytics, obviously cybersecurity, and additional services. So it's well aligned with what we do from an EcoStruxure basis.
Okay. What do you see? What are the end markets going to be? I mean, is it going to be cities, state governments? It's, I guess, what's the customer grid look like?
Look, the customer grid, when it comes to infrastructure, is quite local in terms of the state and local community level. So when we look at the field of play, I think we have airports, we have quite a bit of water, wastewater activity, we have ports, right? There's a variety of different projects, and as we see it together with Carlyle, the state and local governments are really key to make these a success, right?
There's a lot of opportunity with airports alone. I think the latest rankings show the best airport in the United States is ranked number 32 globally. So we know we have a lot of opportunity here.
Right. Okay. And then the last question will just be, sustainability for these organizations. Do you think we've kind of hit a pivot point where, the energy usage and all that is kind of moved to the front? And I guess what they see is the ROI for it.
Look, I think that you clearly see a growing trend in terms of change in the energy mix in the country, right? We clearly see the trend in growth of renewables, whether it's solar and wind, and you clearly see the trend in decentralized energy. I think the economics of the cost of these different technologies are really getting to the point, whether it's generation, whether it's the storage, to where the math for the investment and return is really coming into a sweet spot. So we see the technology evolution, we see the cost trends evolving, and we see that really the consciousness of all of us as a society knowing that we have to change our energy mix. So I see clear convergence of these various factors that will drive the growth of this market.
And how we're using the data is driving efficiency in itself. So we're able to produce much more efficient environments. So the ROI is improved by not only the affordability of the technology, but also the efficiency.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, and good luck on the venture.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.